had a great chat with David this evening. We got a chance to talk a little bit about how he got into adventure racing and the sports he did before. We had a chat about his football GAA career and also when he started biking and then eventually falling into adventure racing. Really good season behind David as well. He really enjoyed 2024. Great racing for all the expert guys and can't wait to get into this chat with him. I hope you all enjoy it. Hey, David, how are you?
All
Are
right,
you well?
how's it going? Yes, sir. Yeah, not too bad, thanks. What's the crack with yourself?
Sure, tipping away. You know yourself now, getting ready for the season. The
Good.
team season is starting and the solo season is starting, so it's going to be busy, busy, busy.
All go. All
All
go.
go. Thanks a million, Dave, for joining me this evening. I suppose I just wanted to get you on because it was a really good season of racing with all the solos, both the sport and the expert. Speaking to all of you at the prize giving last week as well was just brilliant to get the different stories. And I just wanted to make sure that I get as many of you on an interview call just to touch base with you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Definitely.
suppose just to kick us off a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe give us a little bit of information about yourself in terms of how you got into sport and how you fell into adventure racing. How did that all happen?
Yeah, so growing up, like I'm from Denty's here and it's a huge football area. Really, really proud football community. So that's kind of all you're let do whenever you grow up is play Gaelic football. Like, not that there's nothing else to be at. It's kind of what you do when you're from here. So, yeah, that's all there was up until I went to college, really. And yeah, whenever I went to college, I just stopped playing and didn't really do anything. But back when I was in secondary school, there was the local cycling club was it was newly set up here at the time, so I went and bought a bike as part of that and just went out with them for a few spins. But once again, it was always just to kind of aid Gaelic football and I might get out with them for 3 weeks and then football would start to clash and the bike would be dropped and be shelved for a while and then I might get maybe out 6 months later for maybe 5 or 6 weeks and then the same thing would happen again. But that bike sat up quite a bit. But yeah, then towards the end of college I wasn't really doing anything. But I have an uncle who's a very good marathon runner and he was telling me about these new races that he was doing. And yeah, these adventure races, and what he was really talking about was Gale Force North and Gale Force West at the time. And the fact that he was saying, "Oh, some of the roads are all off road running, and there's biking and stuff." And I was thinking, "Geez, I'm able to run a bit, and I have a bike and all. There's nothing nothing I can't do there." So yeah, towards the end of college, I think 2016 and 2017, threw ourselves into me and a mate threw ourselves into Gale Force North, and yeah, it was the start of that. But very much as a means to just being able to complete the event, you know. Um, but then yeah, that's where it kicked off. Um, didn't really yeah, it was only just to be able to compete. But then I suppose after I graduated and that, and I would have started to take training a bit more seriously, and then I was just found myself training more, and I enjoyed it. So and just continually kept doing more of it. And then I suppose I set there was a big race, 24-hour race in Donegal here called the Race, and I would have kind of set my sights on that and trained very, very hard going in to kind of 2020 and everything cancelled because of COVID and it was cancelled a few times there and trying to pick yourself up and train again for the next year for it to be cancelled and all it was very disappointing. But um then started to kind of get in. I did a few team races then kind of once COVID came out. I did the Beyond adventure race in Lois here and then I did the More in 2 Day as well. A few team events and yeah, it wasn't until maybe 2023 um, I did a few adventure races and kind of the competitive side of things. And then I suppose last year then was the first year I kind of competed in the series. So
Hmm,
yeah, that was kind of my road in, I suppose.
very good. So, like, the More in 2 Day is a great event.
Yeah,
It's super.
DNF, but it was a good day.
It,
Bit off far more than we can chew. DNF the Beyond Adventure Race as well, bit off more than I can chew, but really enjoyable
I,
and
I, I, I don't think you were the only one for the Beyond Adventure.
everybody did. But listen, even that morning 2 day, it's amazing
Yeah,
how much I learned. Like,
yeah,
straight into the elite category and had three times as much kit as everybody else in the elite category, and
yeah,
just yeah, all the mistakes were done that weekend. But
yeah.
yeah, it's a fascinating event, and yeah, one I'll definitely go back to.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love the atmosphere that night in camp where everyone is sitting down. I always think it's hilarious. There's always a few people there, with little small Jemiesons tucked in for a quick one that night. I just think it's gas.
We were so late arriving in camp that we missed out, and all that it was straight to bed. So yeah, we didn't get to experience any of that, but yeah, no, it was a brilliant experience.
Yeah, it is, and so well run. And I can never figure out because there's so many navigators up there that we can't draw them in to the adventure racing side.
Well, I would always think, oh, geez, yeah, I can read a map, but it's amazing to watch those guys operate and
Mm,
how quickly they can read a map and reorientate while running up a mountain. Like it's
yeah,
kind of having to stop and kind of go, yeah, it's actually here, and then move and then stop
yeah,
again and
yeah.
go. But yeah, no,
It's practice. It's practice,
yeah,
Dave.
maybe. Maybe.
David. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
practice. We'll get you on the other side yet.
there's plenty of time out there to practice. Yeah.
I suppose looking back, as you said, kind of last year, you made a go for the series. I mean, it was, I suppose, just go back the year before. So, how many races would you have looked at kind of doing in 23?
23, I showed up pretty blind to Ken Mayer, and that was my first kind of. I kind of thought I was like, oh, I told myself I was really strong on the bike, and yeah, I think it was at Ellen made it into the corner before me before you turn up Sneem, and she set such a high pace up there. Just all my plans went out the window then, and it was just about hanging on from there on. But yeah, got quite a shock there. Ended up I was too late entering Gale or for Quest Glendalough, so entered the sport race in Glendalough, so got to race all those lightning fast guys, and got yeah certainly seen another side to adventure racing there as well.
Yeah,
Um, and that was yeah, I think for one thing or another, I think that was kind of it for that year. I could be wrong there, but I think yeah, I think that was all I did, but really got a taste of. In Kenmare, I was um, yeah, I think there was three of us up the front on the bike, and then as the day went on, I kind of found myself in second place, and then blew up big time on the mountain, and Johan caught me, and I ran out of food and everything, and but I found myself getting addicted to, uh, or I found myself um fair enough, I want to go out and race, but I found myself having an influence on how the race played out. And to me, that was wild addicting, saying I'm strong enough to be able to affect how the outcome of this race goes. And I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do, and
yeah,
really want to give these races a bash. Um, yeah, and yeah, hopefully look at winning them. Like,
yeah, cool. Um, so rolling on, then you obviously got bitten by the bug, David, and you got going this year.
yeah.
So I suppose talk us about talk us through Kinmare in 2024 as opposed to Kinmare in 23, considering how you just summed it up there, which was amazing. Like, to
Um, yeah. Pretty much the exact same. I knew what I was getting into, and geez, when you know the course, when you begin to know these courses, it makes such a huge difference. And I suppose that was a big downfall of this year. Was like I was going into a few races having never done, expecting to do well in them, but in hindsight, not having a clue what the course was. So yeah, it takes a few goes of these, and yeah, so I actually did Dingle the year before as well, and actually learned to hold pile there about sleigh head, and yeah, once again trying to influence the race and all that. But yeah, Ken Mayer, yeah, it all kicks off on that climb. It's always gonna. And then it's a big motor down Moll's Gap, which is great crack. Yeah, started off led most of that race actually. Myself and Seb got off the bike together and he had led large part of that race until Seb caught me in transition after the mountain, and yeah, legs shot, everything. So in fairness, myself and Seb worked together when we were on that. But I knew the minute I was getting off that bike, there was yeah, nothing. There was nothing left.
Yeah,
So look, more learning, and yeah, another big lesson handed to me by Seb.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And like the previous year in 23, then you done the sport in Glendalough. How
yeah,
did you find? Like, I think Glendalough is very choppy because you're up, you're down, you're up, you're down, and it's the same with the hill run. So you're on off. You kind of don't get time to settle into any part of that course.
no. What I found with them sport guys is there's no conservativeness with them at all. I think Paul O'Brien alludes to it as well. Like, yeah, it's all out from the word go, and yeah, you don't come off the pedal at all. In fairness, the expert series has definitely from 2023 to 2024 has stepped into that sort of realm as well, where there's a few races there where you're flat out from the word go. Um, but yeah, definitely see similarities now between this year's series and last year's Glendalough.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Glendalough's pretty extreme. Like it's just up and down all day.
Yeah, all day, all day. Like there's no breaking it.
No, the kayak was cancelled this year, so it was quite mentally tough, to do a really hard 10K at the end instead of that being split into 5 and 5 or 6 and 4 or whatever.
Yeah,
Mhm. Just gripping the 10K together, that makes it. Yeah, you're suffering up those hills on the bike, knowing what's to come.
yeah,
Uh, and yeah, pretty tough day. Uh,
yeah. Not good.
yeah.
Well, it is good, but I mean, you know what I mean.
Oh
It's
well,
hard work.
exactly. But you deep down
Yeah,
you enjoy it somewhere.
yeah.
Gotta be fun. But,
So next up, you had a really good race in Dingle.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I
it
mean,
felt good
I saw you at the end of that,
that weekend.
David, and you were cruising. Like, to be fair, you looked really strong.
Yeah. I suppose signs were good coming into that. I did Creaslaw a few weeks out, maybe 2 weeks before that. Was actually wanted to do War this year, but was sick that week. And that was supposed to be my build into Dingle was War and then Creaslaw and slowly build up and get to Dingle. But yeah, that kind of went pear shaped, getting sick, and yeah, went into Creaslaw with not the same fitness and had a really good race there. Once again, it's another guy, John Stewart's local race. So yeah, you're not gonna get anything easy there. So, but felt really confident there when yeah, just came off that really happy and knew the build into Dingle was gonna go well. Felt really confident on the start line. Had a like that too. Had a race plan going in and yeah, first time ever getting dropped on the bike by somebody just ripped my legs off. Yeah, an A1 racer shows up, and that's I think Mark won Clarny the year before. No, didn't win. Showed up for Dingle and completely ripped my legs off. 3K into that bike stage just straight away.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, but luckily managed to catch him on the bike or catch him on the mountain, and yeah, Dingle's probably that's the race I most enjoy out of the whole series, to be honest.
yeah,
Everything about it, and just the setting, and then closed roads on Slayhead, um, and then Mount Brandon is just the most serious. It's a beast. Um,
yeah,
like it's hard going up, but then the day we got everything opened up on Brandon, like full view the whole way down. We had marshals on it, and I was running past them screaming, going, "This is incredible!" Like,
yeah,
you're just and it's one of those you're kind of descending for probably half an hour, and you want to stop going downhill because your legs are that sore. You say, "I wish we had a bit of uphill now or a bit of flat."
yeah,
But yeah, enjoyable day out.
yeah, yeah. No, it's nice. It's a great course.
Yeah.
It's definitely an epic event.
Disappointing that it's not coming back this year, but I think
Hmm.
we'll hopefully see it in the near future because yeah, I'll be the first one selling it.
Yeah, me too. I was hoping to make my comeback there this year first, but I'll have to wait till next year now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pity. So what was next up for you then, David? After that, what was
So decided then I was decided then the week after to sign up for Gale Force West, which was yeah the following Sunday, and I'm never doing that again. Never
yeah,
for again. That Declan Ferry that weekend, in fairness to him, took full advantage because he didn't go to Dingle, and I
yeah,
think he was seeing the state himself and Seb at the start line, and just went for us. Yeah, so that wasn't a fun day out. No, but yeah, got to the end, and yeah, and
yeah,
it came second in it too, which was kind of, but it was damage limitation from the week though.
yeah,
Legs weren't working.
yeah. And during that week, David, how was your recovery? Like in terms of when you do back-to-back races like that, it's really important that you look after yourself directly after the race that you're just after doing in preparation for the next race.
Um, yeah, I would always argue that it starts before that. So even, well,
Yeah.
if I didn't know when I was doing Gale Force West, Dingle might have been a bit different, but probably that's a good thing because I didn't want Gale Force West to start to be hampering it. But yeah, your recovery really starts on probably the last hour of Dingle, and how you're eating. If you maybe think, geez, I'm near the finish, I no longer need to eat. But your recovery really starts in the fueling off Dingle. How well you eat there is going to massively impact how you feel after the race, and yeah, especially the next day. If you underfeel a race, you'll know by the time you try to get out of bed the next morning. Um, but
So
yeah, look,
for you, David, when you're coming, so you come off the mountain, right, in Brandon, and you're hopping on your bike. You have a 10K bike, which used to be the last 10K run in on the old course, which is absolutely amazing that they've changed it to a bike because it used to be awful run. Uh, so how was your fueling coming in on the bike on that last 10K?
I can't really remember to be honest, but yeah, look, you're out on Mount Brandon for an hour and 15 minutes, I'd say. So, straight away you're just getting hydrated again. I know, and that final run, and kind of just shortly before you make it to the bike, there's an old farmer's tap on the side of the road, which I normally take a drink out of just before landing the bike. But yeah, you're just emptying the bottles. This is the last time you're on the bike, and you're only maybe on it for maybe 15, 16 minutes because it is a very fast running. So you're just emptying everything you have in the bottles. And then yeah, like you would have been feeling on. I would do a lot of my eating on the run as well. So yeah, it's about
Okay.
getting the bottles emptied really.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, you finished that race looking really strong. Were you delighted with how it panned out for you?
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt. It was one of them races I just felt really confident going into, and I just was like, yeah, I just one of them days where I suppose we want to say everything goes to plan. Like my plan was not getting dropped on the bike, but still just even then I was still confident enough to say I don't actually have to go here. I'm confident enough in how my running is. To be able to say, yeah, I believe that I can do damage on this mountain like.
Yeah.
So
So you leave Dingle behind, you go on to Gale Force West, you do the double, as you say. Yourself and Seb are probably wrecked looking at one another going,
yeah, I'll never forget the start line of that race. Declan went out like Declan does, and yeah, crazy pace. And I don't know. Seb tried to go with him, and I was actually shouting at Seb on the start line, going, "What?" Or just maybe just 100 meters in, going, "What are you doing?" It was just yeah, but I got to the end of that run. Yeah. The bike is a bit forgiving in that in Gale Force West now,
yeah,
so but like Crow Patrick, so you just have to just get up it.
yeah,
Yeah, I was glad to make it to the finish line.
yeah,
Was yeah, was really just spent after that. Didn't want to race, didn't want to train after that, but still had tough finish up in the zone. Um, 2 weeks after that, and yeah, just just didn't want to race. But yeah, still did it, and took a good break after that too because look, it's a very long year, and these races they're tough. Like they take their toll and they take a huge toll on your body. Like and you need to have that sort of mid-season rest, where I do anyway. You need to have that mid-season kind of break, just even mentally, just to get back and reset and go again. It's quite busy then September.
So did you go to Lochdarg then in September?
I did. I did.
Yeah,
2 weeks before that, I went to Monty for the first year of it, and that actually felt great because I had that gap from racing, and I was using that as a kind of, I'll just test the body here, see how it is,
yeah.
do any, not do any damage,
Mm,
leading me into lot there likely. So,
okay. Um, a lot of people think coming to Lochdarg that it's going to be, walk in the park. Um, it's my training ground. It's where I base all my training from, and I have to say that race is, you know, there's a few nice little kicks in it.
yeah, like that too. Didn't really know the course. I drove most of the day before. Did a bit in the bike the day before on it just the time. But no, for the especially for the race effort and the pace you're traveling at and those descents too. But yeah, that was a day that was all out. I think the way that race panned out from after the first bike is the first bike. It's notorious really, but from that run onwards, it was myself and Declan Berry who were maybe 30 seconds ahead of Seb and Niall Corliss, and that stayed all day. Just the two of us ahead of them by about 30 seconds, and it was just relentless. They were pushing, we were pushing, and just there was no limit. Yeah, didn't
How did
I?
you feel about the pontoon?
Um, it was wobbly the last time going over it anyway. Yeah, that's about all I remember from it. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's yeah, that's all I can remember. I think by the last time I was on it, I knew like Declan was gone on the hill, and there was no sign of him in the pontoon. Like, there was no sign of anybody behind me as well, so we were able to get back to
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Getting down at that stage. But no,
cool.
definitely it's a brilliant addition, and it's something completely different. It's not
Yeah,
something expect in these races, but no, it's
yeah.
good. Nice
No,
addition.
it is. It's cool. Um, so I suppose rounding off the season for us then, like, there's a couple of races left. You've Killarney, Westport Siege Summit. Some people still went down to Scar this year, even though it wasn't on the series.
Yeah.
Um, I suppose, how did you round off your season?
Yeah, Killarney. Well, it's actually, yeah, it was supposed to be Killarney and then see the summit for. I was, I was actually really looking forward to see the summit all year, because I just knew there was all the big names would be there, like, and wanted to get at them, you know. It turns out I didn't make it to see the summit, just one thing or another. But Killarney was my last race, and just yeah, I don't know. Felt great, felt so confident going into it, just felt amazing. But people say it's Magerton that I blew up on, but I didn't even make it to Magerton. I just, um, you know, yeah, it's um, just my day was said and done. Kind of after getting out of the kayak, just had nothing all of a sudden, really, really
Mm,
sudden, and couldn't just have nothing really to blame. Only just was a long year, and
yeah,
that's all I can blame. Um, but yeah, those like the kind of quality of the racing this year, if you show any sign of weakness at all, there's nothing just go for you, and that's exactly what happened. I think like I lost 13 minutes on the mountain to them, which is just it's massive. But oh no, that's kind of it's an example of how good the racing is. Those guys just yeah, take one step off the gas and they're gone. Like
yeah. And it's so hard, like, to be on it all year. It starts in March, but like, you need to be ready for March, so you're training earlier. And then that race in Westport Siege Summit, I know there's been years there where I've just gone, I don't want to go. Uh, you just
yeah,
don't want to rock up because you're tired. But it's just a tough. It's Killarney, and like that's October, November. So after a long season, you're coming into two races at the end of the year, and
yeah, yeah. March to November is a long time, and it's not like I know in other sports that have a lot of races too, like triathlons and stuff. Um, you would tend to peak for certain races, and there's ones that yeah. But the way the series panned out this year, and like you needed to be on it. Like if you weren't gonna do well, the other guys would guaranteed to. So you almost had to feel like you had to peak at every race, and that's hard to do. And I think at the start of the year that sounds easy, but trying to like it's so how do you not have a niggle throughout the year? How do you not have a bit of sickness? How do you not get bug? Like,
yeah,
um, it's just something. Yeah, I don't know. You can plan to your heart's content, like, but yeah, then that's like that's what to sign up for.
yeah,
I think this year too, like a lot of people asking, are you going to go for the series again? And the truth is, like, I'd love to, but you just hopefully, and yeah, you just hope the body's okay.
yeah. All you can do is just go out and race and see what the races bring you. Yeah, for sure.
Hope that you make the start line each time, and
Mhm.
just feeling stupid and training is going to put that at rest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, something that we've spoken about, when I spoke to Declan Ferry as well, even talking to Seb at the prize giving. Um, there's such there's such a really nice community spirit in the adventure racing, and I have to say, watching you guys, um, I know sometimes I can be.
up the mountain. I may not be in the right spot at the right time because it might be a really tough moment. But I have to say, you're all so friendly. You know, I get all away from you, and you're in the thick of it. You know what I mean? And
I
you
think a
just
few times
seem,
you did say hello to me throughout the year, and I was able to look at you, but I
mm,
just nothing was coming out when I was speaking. But yeah, no, I knew
yeah,
you were, and you appreciate the kind of, even it might snap you out of it just for a wee minute.
yeah.
You are suffering and just snaps you out of it, and it's
But
nice to have
even
company.
in Dingle, David, like you spoke to me as we were running along. You know what I mean?
Can't remember that, yeah.
Yeah, briefly. It was brief, but you were still. That's what I mean. You're all so nice, and I understand that I wouldn't expect any of you to talk to me, but even like Ellen or Laura, you'll all give a little thumbs up or a hello. But there's a really nice group of you racing at the moment, and you seem to have great communication between each other and respect and camaraderie between you.
Um, no, exactly. Look, I think few people understand how hard we train, and how many hours in the week, and yeah, a lot of the sacrifice that goes into this, and they're the guys that do understand. So you have to respect, like when they're up with you, like you have to respect them, and there's great I I would only wish those lads to do well. If I was having a bad day, they're the guys I want to win. Not being said when all like and for those 3 4 hours you want to rip their heads off, but before it, after it, you'll do everything you can to try and help them.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, look, if something goes wrong out in the course, they will help you. Like I dropped, I was saying before, I dropped gels. All my gels fell out of my pocket on the first run in Loch Derg, and Niall Corliss was maybe 20 meters behind, stopped and picked them all up and handed them to me, and that was the difference between my race being over and me being able to compete again.
mm,
Uh, Similarly, then I think there was other Seb dropped a bottle and he got his bottle back, or somebody gave him a spare bottle and stuff. And yeah, look, we're just all racing. Yeah, I don't even know how to say it. There's just that respect there. We all want to better ourselves, and I think if somebody else has a better day than you, then so be it. But um, it'll help you come on in the long run.
mm,
Um, we just yeah, look, there's no even though we all work together in the bike, we understand that it's everybody takes their turn, and it's just a really really positive atmosphere out there,
mm.
and yeah, and we just yeah, there's even for the sports guys as well. I'm kind of mad for them to step up. I'm on to Paul O'Brien and Patrick all the time. Please try an expert race. We want to get a crack at it. We want to see where you'd stand, and that's just completely out of respect. Like, 'cause we know they're super strong, and we just
Yeah.
want to get more numbers added to these battles.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed watching and tracking the race and meeting you over the races throughout 2024. I look forward to catching up with you in 25. And here's to more racing just as good as you had in 24. And I wish you well and health for the season coming up, David.
Thank you.
It was an exciting 24. So thanks for bringing your energy to the racing as well.
That was good. Listen, that's what kind of motivates us as well. Like, and that's
Mm,
what training at the minute is. It's not the races; it's those battles and
mm,
trying to show up and give it to those guys. So, yeah,
mm.
that's what's motivating me at the minute.
Brilliant. Well, look, I'm happy to leave it there. But before I go, give me three things that you can't do without on race day, or
Uh,
two, or one, anything.
that's a good one. Yeah, one thing I would always race with and I train with every day, it doesn't matter if I'm on the bike or if I'm on the run, is a buff or maybe two buffs. I just find for like, you can spend all the money you want on training kit, but these are something that costs a few euro. Definitely wouldn't leave the house without them. Yeah, and I race with them too because it means when you get too warm, just take it off, put it in your wrist.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. Apart from that, maybe I find sometimes bringing even this sounds stupid, right? But the magic gloves, the
yeah,
ones like cotton gloves, they
yeah,
fit in your sock, they fit in your tri shorts or something like that. The amount of times I've been out that they just got me out of bother. Now I know they're crap in the wet, and that too. But the amount of times you're suffering and just put them on, it kind of changes how you're feeling, changes your day for something that
yeah,
that's maybe 2 year old.
yeah.
Uh, that'd be it. Yeah,
Cool.
simple. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll definitely catch up with you again, maybe during the year or definitely next year to see how your season went.
Yeah,
Thanks a million, David.
and thanks to everything that Adventure Race in Ireland are doing at the minute to try and promote these sports, and especially by the series, and by having that series, it just means that these battles can happen and gives them a platform where we know that if we're going to a series race, you're guaranteed to have a battle. So no, I appreciate everything that you're doing. That's
Brilliant. Great. Thanks, David.